Hello everyone, welcome back to the Your Tango YouTube channel. I am your host, Elfie, and today we are doing one of my favorite videos on our channel, which is Pick a Pile Tarot Predictions. We have 3 different piles to choose from. Our first pile is going to be ruled by Obsidian, which is our root chakra. Then we have Lapiz Lazuli, which is the throat chakra, and Amethyst is our crown chakra. So give it a moment, take a deep breath, maybe even pause the video, see which pile is calling to you, and we will have timestamps down below to get your full reading. Hello, my friends who chose pile 1. Welcome to your tarot reading. This tarot reading is going to be ruled by the crystal Obsidian, which is associated with the root chakra. It is excellent for clearing out any sort of blockages in your life, connecting your roots into wherever you need to be. Great for helping heal traumas, even ancestral traumas that are deep within your bloodline, helping smooth all that stuff out, really connecting to the present moment here and now. So we have our tarot reading here. It is very exciting. Let's turn some of these cards over and see where we are going. All right, my Obsidian friends, our cards are unveiling themselves, and we are starting with the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is where our current position is in this reading. 7 of Wands kind of represents we are facing a challenge. We are in the middle of something. We are maybe even close to seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but we are still persevering. 7 of Wands says that you have that spirit to keep going, keep pushing. You are so close to reaching your final goals. We have the Sun, which is our direct influence, and the Sun is going to bring you complete exuberance. You have the light of life on your side during this challenge, and that you may be facing really difficult situations, but you have that power, that life force, that prana that is flowing through you, connecting you to the next momentum and that next momentum. The beautiful thing about the Sun card and the sun itself in the sky is that even though it may set and we have a time of night, the sun is always there shining and will come again, no matter what fails, unless it's about, 100 billion years from now. We don't know what happens, but we're talking about the present moment where the sun is always shining. It always will be there. So that is your direct influence during these challenges. Now we have a very lovely past influence, which is the High Priestess. So this kind of shows that someone who has worked really hard and staying consistent in their ideals and their morals for a long time. This is someone who has really stepped up to the plate, and whether other people may see it or not, you have chosen that divine feminine to embody in your life, in your circumstances. And also our past current position was the King of Laurels, also known as the King of Pentacles or the King of Coins. So this is someone who definitely has a provider mindset. We could say that this is another version of a divine masculinity, but definitely in that external realm. The coins / pentacles / laurels is a suit that is all about that exterior magic, taking that, utilizing it, and shaping the world that you really want to see. The High Priestess is all about that divine femininity that's going on within. So we have a beautiful alignment in your past of using this external. It could be financial, it could be, there's a lot of other external magics available, really connecting that with your divine femininity. That has been a beautiful way in your path. You may have some challenges right now, but you have so much exuberance. That is your current influence. Now let us reveal. Oh wow, this is actually looking great for you guys, Obsidian. All right, so revealing our next part. So one of our future influences is going to be the reverse 2 of Laurels, aka 2 of Pentacles. And the reverse 2 of Laurels kind of says that there is we already knew that we're facing a challenge, And now we have some more difficulties along that way. Unfortunately, we are not at the end of the journey. We are still about halfway to the end, trying to take care of business. The Two of Laurels does say that, you guys might get a little overwhelmed along the way. And we're giving you that insight right now so that when it happens, don't freak out. Just because you're overwhelmed does not mean you can't do it. Does not mean that you don't have what it takes. You absolutely do. You have a lot of really amazing influences on your side, as well as your own carved path of divine femininity and divine masculinity going in. So you have a lot of backbone behind you during this next week or two, which may be very overwhelming for you. But don't worry, because this is all going to lead you to an incredible card called the Star. And the Star is all about really getting in tune with that deeper truth within yourself, of really shining that through. So this, in a certain sense, metaphorically, we could easily say that the Star card is that light at the end of the tunnel. You may get overwhelmed along the way, but that light is there and you will reach it. I promise you, it is written. So next we are going forward. Very interesting. We're going to go into the future. Very interesting. Moving on to our future position, we have the Chariot. So it seems like we have kind of wrapped up whatever challenge that we were in the middle of. We have reached the light at the end of the tunnel. And there is something in these cards that is saying that you feel the need to keep pushing forward anyway. You don't feel like you have quite reached that end of the tunnel, or maybe there is a new part of your journey that is evolving, that is calling for you to hit the road again. A new quest has unveiled itself. However, this next quest is going to be actually more difficult than the one that we were already on. I know we were getting a little overwhelmed with what we're in the middle of now. We have reached the end of that, and a new quest has unveiled, one that is going to really push us and maybe not necessarily have the same spectacular outcome that this last one did. Now, one thing to keep in mind, that when there are difficult cards along the way, there just means that these are really impactful lessons that are coming to you that you need to internalize to grow as a person. Remember that we don't really get wisdom from winning. Wisdom comes from losing. Wisdom comes from the difficult moments and choosing to be the best version of yourself, no matter what happens, no matter what presents itself. So we have a few very interesting cards. Seven of Swords reversed. This is telling me that we have someone who is going to come with you with a confession of some sort. It may not even necessarily be a betrayal, but someone is going to come forward with some information that you were not necessarily expecting. It might even hit really close to home, where something that we were dealing with about trying to get through maybe have been more in our public life or our career or something. There's something personal that's going to come up that could potentially throw us off our game. Now, once that confession hits, our next direct influence is going to be a level of procrastination, where the Chariot, we were at first, after we got over those initial challenges, we were full steam ahead. We were ready to take on the next quest. We had the world in the palm of our hands because, remember, we have that backbone of the divine and feminine masculine. We got through that last challenge. We can get through anything, right? Well, some things do hit a little close to home. When people reveal certain information that can really trigger us, there's going to be another influence of a need to reprioritize what is important to you. Now, this could be a time of even procrastination. This could be a time of laziness. I don't really like that word because I think it's totally okay to lounge, to relax, to unwind, get in that mode of not being needed anywhere and just really tapping back into being present. So laziness is not necessarily a bad thing unless it is overdone. Now, we've been on a really intense journey since then, so maybe it's about time that we finally had something that kind of halted us in our tracks and made us really rethink this path that we're on. Yes, things are working out. Yes, we are overcoming challenges, but there's something that's off, and it might even be inside. The Queen of Cups reversed is going to be the final outcome of this entire situation, and the Queen of Cups, This says that there is a level of emotions that is not completely balanced. Now, it does not necessarily mean that you were out in the streets getting crazy. It just means that you really need to check in with yourself. You might have been disconnected from your emotions and you feel numb. You have just been through a lot of things and a lot of really demanding circumstances that were overwhelming in the past, and you really persevered, but something is going to come up that is going to reprioritize. Are these exactly the challenges that you really need to be overcoming? Is there something more personal that you need to look into? And it's telling me that there's something going on with the emotional landscape that is going to come at the end of all of this. And it's going to be after you get through that first challenge, there's going to be a next quest that is requiring your attention, and along that way, just be careful, because things are going to unfold in ways that you cannot plan, because we don't have control of the entire world. And that's another thing about the Chariot. And we can see that the forces are even getting a little bit unruly themselves, and that you cannot always control every circumstance about your journey. But what you can do is take those lessons and get closer in tune with your own emotions and get in tune with that refinement, that emotional intuitiveness. Thank you so much, my Obsidian friends. It is seriously such a gift to help unfold this next month for you. Please drop a comment below. Let me know what these types of challenges are going on. I would love to be a support system for you. And just remember that you are going to get through this. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And after that, there is going to be a chance to get even deeper to your own emotional intelligence and connection. So my Obsidian friends, don't forget to hit subscribe. Drop some comments below, and I'll see you next time. Hello, my friends who chose pile number 2 for your tarot reading. This reading is sponsored by Lapiz Lazuli, our lovely crystal that is associated with the throat chakra, all about expressing those feelings that you have never really said before, getting in tune with that self-expression, standing up for yourself, speaking how you really feel. So this tarot reading is all going to be kind of associated with our throat chakra. Let's get started. So our current position that we are starting this reading off is the Ace of Cups reversed. So this is all about self-love with the Ace of Cups, and when it is reversed, that means that there is some sort of blockage going on. Now, typically, this is going to be about that self-expression. It's not necessarily that you aren't feeling your feelings, but it's not that you are properly standing in your truth about the way you feel about something. Maybe there can even be a sense of even gaslighting yourself out of the way you really feel. Maybe you're trying to convince yourself you feel a different way about something, trying to tell yourself one thing, but your heart is saying another, and there is that disconnect. And a lot of times I see people that are struggling with anxiety or struggling with depression, but they're not really identifying these types of blockages that are happening within us. You know, there's all these other external things that may be bringing them down, but once they truly isolate these problems and smooth them out, are they able to better handle all of these stresses in their lives? So Ace of Cups reverse is telling us that there is some sort of internal blockage going on right now. However, we have the Four of Wands as our direct influence right now, and there is some sort of milestone that we have achieved. Now, despite having this emotional blockage, things are going pretty well for us right now. So there is something where it's like, you know what, sometimes you have to celebrate the small stuff. That even if things are not totally feeling okay, you do deserve to pat yourself on the back. There are some things to be grateful for. The glass is never half full or half empty. It just is. It's all about the way we take it. It's all about the way we drink that glass of water anyway. So drink it with gratitude, and don't be so hard on yourself that just because you are having some difficult feelings, it doesn't mean that everything is falling apart in your life. You're actually on a really good track. Now, in the past, we also have overcome some challenges where that Ace of Cups reversed, it does not come out of nowhere. So the Nine of Cups reversed is all about a sense of a lack of fulfillment, where there were some wishes that just didn't exactly come true, and you were left feeling a little emptier than you should have been. We also have the Page of Cups reversed as a past position that we were in, and there is some sort of bad news associated with the reverse of this card. So these two together, where we had a lack of fulfillment plus some bad news, leading to a certain level of feeling empty or disconnected from our own emotions, extremely valid. However, we do have a really good current influence, that Four of Wands, that is bringing certain little milestones that you do need to focus on. Now, our next position that we are going to be focusing on is the world. So the world is all about our external factor, how the world is perceiving us. What exactly is this mask that we're putting on? Now, I don't really like to refer to it as a mask, because even though we do have to put something on to face the world, it can sometimes be a very authentic presentation. Yes, we may be feeling kind of difficult on the inside, but what does it really mean to put your best foot forward, right? It is not being untruthful to put your best foot forward, even if you don't feel totally okay inside. It is absolutely valid to do this. And so we have the world that is at our taking. So again, there is some sort of stressing that we may be dealing with stuff internally, but externally things are kind of going okay for us. However, our next direct future that is going to happen is going to be the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is typically related to a sense of betrayal, a sense of loss. There is going to be something that is shooken up. And this is going to directly connect to all of these reverse cups that we have going on. Now, one thing to remember is that this is the minor arcana. So these things are kind of passing transitions through the life. So nothing can always be a good day. It is always okay to have that bad day, and don't run away from it, because the more you embrace it, the less it's going to hurt in the long run. So we have the Three of Swords, which is kind of this wake-up call to what is going on underneath. Yes, we have that Four of Wands. Yes, we have that World card that are really bringing our best foot forward publicly. That Three of Swords is going to kind of bring a sort of catalyst into the personal realm to deal with some issues that we may have been avoiding really facing head on. And so this is also a great opportunity to identify what or who in your life may be draining your energy, may not be a good fit for your life. You know, so sometimes betrayals are necessary. Sometimes it is important to get our hearts broken, to get those things happening for us to really reevaluate who is in my life, why are they in my life, and am I receiving a reciprocal value in this relationship? Now, unfortunately or fortunately, adult relationships are not necessarily unconditional. They are, in fact, based on conditions. Are you respecting me? Are you showing me the care that I deserve? Are you showing up in my life? Are you being a good friend? Now, this could be a friendship. This could be a romantic lover. This could be a family member, but something personal is going to be a catalyst for flowing those emotions again. With that Ace of Cups reversed, there's some sort of blockage going on. You may even find out this news and finally snap a little bit. And it is totally okay to have feelings, to have emotions, especially if you do have a time where you snap. Sometimes that is better than just keeping everything blocked down inside. At least you are finally emotionally flowing again. I like to remind people that the word emotions has the word motion in it. Emotions are meant to flow through us. We are an instrument for these emotions to play. And so you cannot hold on to these emotions. You cannot block them. You must let them move through you. The more you block them and the more you keep them locked up, when you do have a moment that is going to trigger you, things are going to come out from potentially years of blockage. So just one thing to keep in mind, emotions have the word motion in them. Let yourself feel them. Let them flow through you. The rain cloud will cease to rain and the sun will come out again. Now, after this situation where we potentially have to deal with someone in a way we would rather not, we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is one of my favorite cards because he is, in a sense, a masculine in terms of an extroverted sense, that the knight is always going to be out there going and getting it. There is a passion, there is a drive, there is an ambition. And the swords is a perfect complementary to that knight energy. Now, the Knight of Swords is really going to push forward into whatever they really need to do. So we had some blockages, but we have some really good things going on in our external world. There may be some sort of betrayal going on in our personal lives, but that is going to jumpstart our fire. We are going to get out of the bed even earlier in the morning. Sometimes that emotional charge is exactly what you need in the recipe for passion, right? So the Knight of Swords is moving forward. There is no time to be dwelling in these emotional blockages anymore. We are out here and we are focusing on what really matters. Who has access to us? Therefore, what can we really get done with our lives? They say that we are made up of the 5 closest people to us. So if you really assess who are the 5 people that you see all the time, this is a really deep reflection of who you are on the inside. Now, do you feel like those people do kind of reflect you in a certain way? Do you not identify with that? Well, that 3 of Swords is telling you that there is some sort of clearing that needs to be made and that you have what it takes to make those changes in your life. Now, we have the reverse, the Emperor. So the Emperor is another classic divine masculinity card. This is a balanced ruler. So we have this card in reverse. So this means that there is some sort of power imbalance that is going to be happening from the near future that you are diving into headfirst with this Knight of Swords, plowing forward through the truth. Well, the truth may be that there is an imbalance in power in some sort of masculine energy in your life. And this is going to influence and charge your journey in that Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is not afraid to confront the most difficult truths or even sometimes most difficult opponents, which can be toxic masculinity. However, have no fear because we have the Emperor reversed directly next to the Hierophant, which is divine masculinity in a sense as well. So we have the Emperor reverse, which is essentially a ruler gone corrupt, like a tyrant. And then we have the Hierophant, which is a spiritual leader. This is divine masculinity. This is someone who is connected to their higher selves in a masculine realm. So along this journey of being betrayed and just going forward into our journey, we are going to really distinguish these 2 types of masculine energies. And through all of this, it starts with our emotional blockages inside ourselves. And through that, we are going to really identify what is not working in our lives. Now, this masculine energy may even be coming from us. Maybe there are sides of us that are a little too critical, a little too demanding, even a side that needs to be constantly always right. Well, this is in a mirror facing the divine masculinity that is within us or within our lives. So maybe we need to check what is going on in ourselves or check what's going on with other people in our lives and correct it. This is a direct mirror that is in no mistake that these 2 cards are facing each other. This whole journey is to really identify what masculine energy is working or not working in our lives. And it takes identifying our emotional regulation in the very beginning, really getting past those blockages, because blocking out your emotions is never going to be the answer. The more you allow yourself to feel them without letting them take you over, you are able to use them as a compass to discernment, to your intuition, and to really leading the life that you want to lead. Please listen to those emotions. Please let that emotion carry you into your alignments. And finally, we have the Queen of Laurels, which the laurels is also known as pentacles or coins. This is an external magic card, and the Queen is the complete embodiment of a balance of that external magic. So once again, which is a very interesting outcome to dealing with this masculinity, because we have those emotional blockages. However, we had some really good things going on in our public sphere with the World card and that Four of Wands. We are slowly but steadily on a path towards our dreams, yet we have some really pressing personal matters to deal with. By dealing with these personal issues and not just blocking them out, you are going to go on this journey of amping up your discernment, amping up your intuition, and really getting yourself in tune inside and out with your place in the world. Thank you so much, my Lapiz Lazuli friends. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope you found it helpful. And please drop some comments below. What does the words divine masculinity mean to you? What does toxic masculinity mean to you? What does it mean to feel your emotions or block them out? How can we find healthy regulation through these things? So let me know all of that below. And don't forget to subscribe. Tune in next time for your reading for June. Thank you. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your tarot reading. This tarot reading is sponsored by Amethyst, our crown chakra crystal. This is all about balancing and connecting the metaphysical with the physical, keeping the mind and body calm, clear, and connected. And so this reading is going to be all about that crown chakra. So let's get started. Oh God. I'm starting with death. Oh goodness. Well. So my Amethyst friend, let's get started. This is a very interesting journey. Just to give you guys a heads up, we are starting with the first major arcana card of death. This is our current position. Now, this does not mean a physical death. This is all metaphorical, because if it was literal, it would be the last major arcana card in the tarot, but it is not. So death is all about a transformation. There is a part of you that is no longer serving your highest good, that is no longer serving your future path. A side of you has got to go. It's got to go. It has to fall away. Now, death is excruciating even when it's an ego death. A lot of us don't want to jump into that. A lot of us would rather do anything else but go through the growing pains of evolution. So the universe is here really bringing that to us. The universe puts us in situations that forces us to let go of those things that are no longer serving us. Now, this death can be something inside of you that is not serving you. It can also be a relationship. It can also be a career path. It's going to be a very dramatic change. This is your current position, so you should probably already know what this is. Instantly, intuitively, something came to your mind when I said that. You don't need to think about things much harder than that. If you heard all of this stuff and that you know you need to make a change and something came to your mind, keep following that along this tarot reading. So our direct influence is the Emperor. So the Emperor is a king in this physical realm, if you will, where we have some sort of divine masculinity, and then we have also like a very real physical alpha masculinity, if you will. The Emperor is a king with a castle who rules over a town, and the Hierophant is a spiritual leader, one that is in tune with the powers of the metaphysical as well as the physical. So we have death, which is our current position. We are perhaps in the midst of an evolution with the Emperor, who is our direct influence. So there is some sort of masculine force that is forcing something in us to die. Now, masculine does not necessarily mean man. Masculine energy is essentially an exertion of force where feminine is a reception. So there is perhaps a physical person, because even a female or a woman can identify with their masculine energy, stand up, take control, be a leader, be all of these things that embody the emperor. But something is forcing you to grow and change, and there is a lot of force in this momentum. That can probably feel overwhelming. That can probably feel like you don't want to serve this change anymore. You want to turn against the king. You want to turn and actually maybe even exile yourself from this, because this is excruciating. Now, what have we gone through in our past? So the Two of Swords is our past position that we were in. So the Two of Swords is all about a very difficult decision. You had to choose between two sides that maybe was a lesser of two evils. It didn't feel like one was going to be better than the other. One was going to really connect with you, but you had to make that certain decision. And the Seven of Laurels, which is also known as the Pentacle suit or the Coin suit, Seven of Laurels is all about receiving from a harvest. So we were in a position of choosing between two evils, and our influence was harvesting things from our very hard work. Now, this has led to a deep transformation and a masculine force that is directly influencing that change. So there is something about, though we may have harvested fruits from our previous hard work or our previous labors, or even in a relationship, something paid off. Maybe you really wanted to be with someone and you finally were able to get them. But there was some sort of choice that led to this that just didn't sit right with you. And it has led to this evolution. Now, I know you may be in the middle of some really hard feelings right now, and it's completely okay to not be okay. On the other side of this is going to be an incredible transformation, so let's take a look. So one of our future influences is going to be the card of Justice. So this is an absolutely fascinating spin on kind of the situation that we're already dealing with already, right? We had an intense decision at the end of some of our very hard work, harvesting all of these fruits of our labor. There's a massive transformation going on with the Emperor, that masculine force of energy pushing us against our will into that transformation. And now we have the Justice card. So some sort of balance to the universe is being restored. Now, this does not necessarily mean that, you made the wrong decision in the past and things are being course corrected. It's not necessarily a matter of karma. It's a matter of things getting sorted out the way they were supposed to. And it is always really good to go with justice when it is being served, and to identify that part of your transformation is part of the justice that is being served, that none of this is happening in a vacuum. Your transformation is so vital to the story, not only in your own story, but to many stories around you. This is part of the scales of keeping everything balanced. The Justice card can also be related to the sign of Libra. So this is one very interesting thing to keep in mind. So we have that justice balance where, as they say, justice will be served. But how far do we take that concept of justice for ourselves? What is the need to be right? Is that necessarily about justice, or is that about fairness? What is the difference? Well, we will go into the next card called Five of Swords. And this card is all about winning at all costs. That, let's say someone said something negative to you, and a part of you could have let it roll off of you and go on with your day and not let it disturb you. But another side of someone could get fixated on that moment, could retaliate, and it could really intensely disrupt their day, if not their week. Who knows what the circumstances are. Now, the Five of Swords is all about winning the battle but losing the war, where we sometimes want to win at all costs. And I really know it is really difficult to deal with people approaching us in a really negative way, especially when we don't deserve it. And that is a big part of that card as well, is maybe we are dealing with some situation, we don't necessarily deserve that energy, but by us engaging with it, it is lowering our nature. And that is going to go directly into our next card, which is going to be our future starting position, is the Devil. So these two cards really, honestly, all of these last few cards go hand in hand, where justice was served, but it may not have been exactly what you needed, exactly what you desired, and you chose to take justice into your own hands. And by really committing to winning at all costs, sure, you may have won, but in a sense, you have lost your own vibration in a certain sense. Now, the Devil card does not mean evil, does not mean there's anything wrong with anyone. It just means that we are, instead of elevating ourselves, we are tuning more into our animalistic nature. I hate to say lower vibration because, again, it's not about stigmatizing anyone, saying one is good or the other. This can also be a passing situation in your life where there's a mindset that you need to recheck. And that is all coming back to that original death card. There is a part of us that needs to die. There is a part of us that needs to be cast away. It is not serving our higher purpose. And so by even going on this journey, which is going to be difficult, there are challenges along the way, it is going to lead us to a higher outcome, I promise you. Sometimes progress is 2 steps forward, 5 steps back. It is not linear. It is more like a squiggly spiral all over the place. But you know what? As long as you stay true to the journey, you will come out on top. And it is okay to make the wrong decision. It is okay to sometimes get caught up in situations you would rather not be in, because you can learn. Self-awareness is where it starts. Now, let's say you get into a situation and you realize the next day where you went wrong. And then the next time it happens, you realize a few hours after it happened. And then every single time it happens, you get closer and closer to realizing in the exact moment of your reaction, hey, I need to handle this a different way. And that is what mindfulness is all about. It's not about sitting in silence and pretending like we're better than other people. That is not what spirituality is about at all. It's about taking those moments that we have to ourselves, tuning ourselves, so that way when we are approached with really difficult situations, we can handle them better. That is what mindfulness is about. And I think that is perhaps what this journey is about, that there is a part of us where we thought we had everything under control. We thought we could take care of business. Sometimes we need to let go of that control and let things go to the higher power, to really believe in justice on its own, that we don't have to win at all costs. Sometimes you need to lose a battle to win the war, and that is a very important situation to understand. And it's okay, so just be aware of all of this stuff when it's happening. That would be my greatest recommendation. So we're going from our future current position, which is going to be the Devil, which sounds bad, but again, it is our animalistic nature, which is very competitive. There is a sense of protecting the ego, and we are going to be moving into a realignment after that. So we go from that Devil card, then we move on to the Page of Cups, which is the bearer of good news, finally. So the Page of Cups is a wonderful addition to this journey, because at a certain point we have been stripped down, our cup was half empty, and then, hey baby, it is empty. But you need to empty your cup completely before you can refill it, before you can really choose carefully what exactly are we pouring into this cup at all. So do not take your losses as your completion. Your losses are just making you more available to alignment, to realignment, getting in tune with where you really are supposed to be mentally, physically, and on your life path. So that Page of Cups is there finally to bring you some good news, perhaps in your darkest hour. And while you're going through this transformation, please stay on your own side. please give yourself a few breaks. It is okay to be in the wrong. It is okay to not be perfect. This is where growth happens. So we have Page of Cups, who sees someone at their rock bottom, let's say it that way. Again, rock bottom, a great jumping point into your future. But the Page of Cups is here to give some hope. This is bringing some good news. This is bringing that empty cup back up to half full. All right. And then we have the lovely Page of Wands, who is going to be assisting in this. And now the cups is a suit about receptivity, about emotions. The wands is all about the magic within you. So not only are we receiving an emotional boost in the Page of Cups, we are also receiving a boost in our magic within ourselves with this Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is really diving into that childlike wonder about the magic within ourselves. What were your favorite creative things to do as a child? What were these pastimes that maybe that got lost along the way as you were so just trying to fight for justice or fight to win these certain battles? You may have forgotten about things that really just brought you joy simply and purely. And so that Page of Cups is encouraging you to really take that emotional support from wherever it's coming from, and that Page of Wands to really reach out into these things that make you happy on a passionate level, that are not about money, that are not about status, that are just about getting in tune with that magic within you. And it may have been a long time since you felt really connected. I mean, this Death card is a major arcana card. These are perhaps transformations you've been dealing with for a while. But our Nine of Wands is at the very end. That is a promise. Light is at the end of the tunnel. You have come so far. The universe is proud of you. The universe is proud of you even through the mistakes you have made, because this is all that balance of the universe. This is all that balance of getting you on the right track. And the beautiful thing about life, and also the tragedy of life, is that no one is going to do this for us. We have to figure it out on our own. And the universe is going to give you all these obstacles. And instead of saying, why me? We could take them and say, thank you for these lessons. Where is this realigning me? What do I need to learn from this? How can I carry myself with more grace? How can I carry myself with more focus? Because not every battle needs to be won. It is so important to our mental health to pick and choose, because there will be a fight waiting for you on every corner, in every text. There is always something to get offended about. There's always something to have a problem with. Honestly, no more. That transformation is on its way for us to become a little more stoic, a little more graceful, and a little more in tune with who we always have been. This is a higher sense of ourselves that is within us. And that's the most interesting thing. The high self is buried within. The elf is in yourself, as I say. What do I know? I'm just a little Elfie over here. But thank you guys so much, my Amethyst friends, for going on this journey. Please let me know. This is honestly our most intense reading that we did for this video. So let me know, what are these transformations that you're going to be going through, that you perhaps are going through? What are some things that maybe you could avoid so you don't get caught up in trying to win at all costs? And what are you looking forward to? And maybe we can even jumpstart directly to this Page of Wands. What are those passions that you think you have forgotten about, that you haven't gotten in tune with in so long? I would love to hear about them. And don't forget to subscribe, drop me those comments below, and I will see you guys next time for June. Thank you so much, Amethyst. I'll see you next time. That concludes our tarot reading. That was very intense. All three of them were so beautiful, so magical, and so evolutionary. I cannot wait to see what the future holds for all of us. Please share this with someone who may need it. Definitely subscribe, definitely leave some comments, and definitely I will see you next time.